Hi everyone, welcome back to the loft. Nice to see you.
Hi guys.
So today, this is a big one, kind of.
Yeah, kind of pretty. Yeah.
One of our favourite houses, or certainly one that's piqued our interest over the years, is Tom Ford.
Yeah.
We've tried various things of his over the years. We don't own maybe the most enormous collection between us, but we have a lot. Not all of them are here today. But this is a smattering that we've brought to show you some things that we enjoy wearing at the moment.
Yeah. So this is our Tom Ford top 10, which is we enjoy because of the alliteration. Also, we've done another. We're always normally quite groundbreaking with our top 10s.
They're very special.
And this is as groundbreaking because our top 10 is 8.
Our top 8.
Yeah. There might be a few surprises in here. We've also tried to take into account cost as well, because it'd be very easy to make this list just 10 of the private blends.
Yeah, which is so dull because he's done a lot.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We've also taken into account performance quite a lot, because I've got a bit of a problem that a lot of the private blends don't perform very well, and so therefore I find it a bit difficult to justify the price.
Yeah.
Also, some of the private blends have been reformulated, and so they're a bit boring, and also some of the most popular private blends I just don't think are that interesting and don't warrant the price at all. Yeah. So there's going to be might upset a few people, this list.
But be brave and go with us.
Be brave. It's our list.
And we like them. This could change in a week's time when we discover something else that knocks something off the top spot.
This is we've also tried to put them into a list of 1 to 8, 1 being the best. It's been really, really difficult, especially the top. In fact, all of them we've been umming and ahhing with this, so it's really tricky. But let's go.
Let's do it. So starting at number 10, number 8. So this might be a bit of a surprise, but I love this because of the classical, old school Guerlain feel, and I love the House of Guerlain perhaps more than any other house. And this is Violet Blonde, which is that little baby there.
Can I have another squirt?
Give it a squirt. Now for me, this one is all about the beautiful combination of violet and iris in the opening.
So this is
and it's quite
marketed as a female fragrance, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, you wear it if you like it. But for me, it's very classical.
It feels very grand.
Yeah.
It feels very
opulent.
Very opulent, very well put together.
Yeah.
It feels luxurious. It feels like it could easily be a private blend.
Totally.
It feels like they're quality ingredients.
The blend is wonderful, and this iris is very austere, but it's got so much rounding it out. A lot of spice.
Iris is an expensive ingredient, and it's often used. I think you get a synthetic substitute used kind of very sparingly. Whereas you get this kind of rich iris opening.
You can really tell it's the real deal, can't you? And the iris butter in the middle.
Yeah.
Gives a wonderful creaminess on the skin.
We were discussing earlier, not only there are some fragrances which we like to wear, we like to smell on ourselves, you sniff your wrist throughout the day. And
we do, don't we?
But there are other fragrances you like to smell on people, and this is definitely one I would like to. But that's not saying it's not just for women. I would definitely wear this.
Yeah, I've worn it a few times, and it's kind of a harkening back to a classical era of perfumery that we don't really have anymore.
Yeah.
Which for a modern designer like Tom Ford, I really appreciate. I think it's a nice touch.
As you said, this is the kind of thing I wish, Guerlain haven't really done anything good for about the last 10 years.
No.
But this is the kind of thing, you kind of wish that they would be doing.
Today I was smelling some Guerlain, a new Shalimar flanker called Lumiere.
Yeah.
And I smelt it, and I said to the guy behind the counter in Selfridges, that's really nice. Wait here and I'll go and find you 10 almost identical fragrances to that. I can find them for you right now. Whereas this,
boring.
Not really.
Yeah, much better. Right.
What do we got next?
7. No, this is one which people might have expected to be higher up the list. This is Noir de Noit of the private blend. So this is rose and patchouli and chocolate.
Beautiful combo.
We said a lot of the time before, you should judge your fragrance by its whole development, not just the top notes. But this is just one of those that, off the first spray, it's just.
It's a journey, isn't it?
But the first spray is just absolutely intoxicating. It's so rich. The rose is so round, and the way it's backed up by that patchouli and chocolate, it's so
absolutely
dark,
stunning. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called like black of black, and that's what it is. But there's somehow that rose, you can just see those crimson petals.
Yeah, it's a bleeding, weeping, slightly gothic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really gothic. Yeah, it's almost like a fairy tale. It's almost like this doesn't belong in the real world.
You know those sort of beautiful women that look very moody and sultry.
Yeah,
that's a little bit like that sort of scowling, brooding intensity. It has.
But it's almost like
a little bit of sweetness behind it as well.
Some kind of 1950s film noir style.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
he's really captured an image there, hasn't he? Or he's filled it with enough personality that we get the imagination firing.
Yeah,
and we see all that stuff.
This this could easily be like 1 or 2 for me, but the performance is terrible.
It doesn't sort of do the trick, does it? In that sense?
It really doesn't. And also, I found kind of accidentally stumbled across a fragrance which is so similar to this called Rose Oud by Alexandre J, which is less than half the price and performs a lot better.
And it's the exact polar opposite in terms of colour scheme.
Yeah, it's bright. It's bright pink and golden. But yet it's the same dark jammy rose and patchouli. There are a few. There's a bit more kind of toffee to that. I don't really get any oud at all to it. We mentioned it in our rose list, I think.
Yes.
I don't think it's a clone. I don't think it's a copy. I think they were going for something else. But now that I own both of these fragrances. And it is difficult. I love this so much. But Rose Oud performs so much better.
Ultimately, performance has to be a thing. When you're spending big bucks.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to know that you're going to put this thing on in the morning, and it's not about it lasting all day so that you don't have to top it up. It's not about that. It's about giving you a long journey and a progression, because that's the exciting thing about fragrance.
Value for your money as well. You don't expect it to disappear in an hour and a half. Absolutely. So sadly, Noir de Noit is only at number 7 or 9, depending on your viewpoint. Depending on how you look at it. So we do have another private blend now, a discontinued one which doesn't get talked about that much.
London.
It's London. In our last, a couple of videos ago, we talked about Penhaligons, and they just released some secret London fragrances, and we said how they chosen the most boring parts of London, Belgravia and Kensington, and the fragrances didn't have that much personality.
Just white, bland buildings in Belgravia.
This is the opposite. For me, this is London at night. This is dark, this is dangerous, this is spicy, this is sexy, this is leathery, this is incense. These are things going on after hours, after the pub shut, after the club shut. People coming out. It's moody.
This is people. This is the smell of people and living.
I think this is
real
possibly
action.
The boldest, one of the most interesting of the private blend line.
Why did you discontinue this? You crazy fool. Bring it back.
I think it's discontinued because I sometimes wonder with the private blend it's aimed at people passing through an airport, and or people passing through a Tom Ford shop and looking, thinking those bottles, they're the more expensive range, they're luxury. London, that's a bit edgy. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for that.
It's so bold, though.
And Tom Ford says on his website that its private blend is aimed at fragrance enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And so therefore you would think this would be a fragrance which should do well. But a lot of cumin in it as well in there.
Big cumin.
Bit of dried fruit as well.
Quite boozy.
Yeah, very boozy. And that's why I get that after hours feel. Really, it's really one of the best.
It's more like walking through Soho at 5 a.m, isn't it? After everything's happened.
Absolutely, yeah. A little bit of tobacco as well.
Some garlic in the air, maybe some.
So sadly,
some sweaty.
This is discontinued, but you can still find it on a lot of websites. Things like Notino, it's available on there.
Exactly.
And
look on eBay as well.
If you look on eBay.
Join fake fragrance groups. We've not talked about this. That's another video maybe, but Fragcom, Facebook, things like that. You can get some great deals. People are always exchanging things.
Right.
It's exciting. Next.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Number 5.
So we did this.
We talked about this already. Ombre Leather. This thing here is straight in at this list because basically you've got a private blend quality fragrance at his designer prices.
To remind me.
Basically, this is the same DNA as Ombre Leather 16, Tuscan Leather, and the whole generation of things that have come since. La Yucawam, Oud Leather, Montal, Arab tradition, all those things have basically stemmed from the leather accord that comes in this. So it's a pivotal sort of accord.
There's no reason why this should be, in his design. What's his designer line called?
So this is part of
Signature,
Gentleman's Signature Collection.
Well, there's no reason it should be Signature Collection as opposed to private blend. It's exactly the same kind of quality as a private blend.
Yeah.
If you're interested in trying Tom Ford at his best, do yourself a favour and go for it.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And it's so creamy as well. It's got this wonderful sort of spicy, sharp edge at the beginning.
I also get
but
this.
It's very smooth
I still get a hint of this violet leaf, which reminds me of
Fahrenheit.
Yes, exactly. I'm still getting that.
Yeah, it's there for sure.
Okay,
but it's so nice, isn't it?
it's great stuff. Right,
It's bold.
4.
Number 4. Okay, well.
I did spray this a minute ago, but I've got it in my hand.
You've got it in your hand. How's it doing?
It's absolute class.
Good, isn't it?
It's real class.
Tom Ford, Extreme, Extreme, extremely nice.
Yeah.
Plum.
Yeah, I mean this
Fougere,
is
plum fougere.
So we spoke a moment ago about fragrances you like to wear on yourself and fragrances you like to smell on other people. When we were talking about this earlier, this is how I would like to think of people smelling me. You know, this is it's not necessarily there's a big compliment getter, but it's sophisticated, it's elegant, it's well put together.
Yeah.
It just screams class.
It has a sort of signature aspect, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's the smell of
exactly.
Blah, who just walked past. I recognise that smell. That's him.
But it's actually got like quite. It's not. Even though you're talking about being a signature kind of fragrance, it's not that simple.
No way.
It's not that safe.
It's a huge list of notes. Actually.
Yeah.
It's a lot of spices, a lot of woods.
And this
a lot of resins in the base.
I love that plum. There's a real kind of plummy, fruity, which makes you think boozy, which makes you think of dark spirits.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really.
And when you think about it, this thing is harkening back to the classical fougere, in a way that Paisley, which we talked about in our last video, did.
Yeah.
It's a sort of tribute to the old way of doing things, the Azzaro and the Rive Gauche, which incidentally Rive Gauche was by Tom Ford himself when he was in charge of YSL. So he obviously likes our new Fougère d'Argent as well. He likes the classic masculine, no frills but lots of personality.
Yeah, and we should say so. This signature line, they are exactly half price. They are £115 as opposed to £230.
Which, great going, isn't it?
Which is a big difference.
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
And not a big step down in terms of class, quality.
But it is real class.
Yeah,
it's real
beautiful.
Class. Right.
What do we have next, Dan?
Next one. This is what I think is this is the best performing fragrance from the private blend line, especially as they exist now. It is Tobacco Oud. As with a lot of Tom Ford ouds, I don't really get any oud whatsoever.
No.
For me, this is tobacco and booze. This is
like so many ouds. In fact,
I remember when I first was getting into fragrance, I smelt this and I was completely overwhelmed with it. I thought it's too strong. Oh,
it's enormous, isn't
it? That whiskey note is so big, isn't it? This is real.
Oh, yeah, it is overwhelming.
It is big. I'm wearing black tie tonight, and I think I'm going to wear this tonight. This is a real fantastic black tie. If you imagine luxurious armchairs, like polished wood on bars, and really exotic cocktails, big cigars, a big glass of whiskey.
I mean, the personality that comes out of that fragrance is absolutely enormous.
It's interesting. I said
and appealing.
I said London was one of the boldest of the Tom Ford private blends. Actually, I wonder if this is.
That knocks it out of the park, I think.
People really adore oud wood. I'm sorry, but I find oud wood quite boring.
It's very safe.
I don't think there's any oud in it whatsoever. And if you want a very safe, easy scent, fair enough, go for it. But I don't see why you would spend 230 quid, on a safe, easy scent. I think if you're going to spend that money, you need to have something which has got personality, which has got character, which has got performance, and that is why this is number 3. Tobacco.
Rightly so, and I think I'm going to be picking out the bottle of this. I don't have it.
So good.
I don't have it, but I will.
I mean,
there's also an intense version of this, so God knows what that's about.
Well, I'm not spelting it, but if
Can
there's
it be
one fragrance that didn't need an intense version, it's this. Anyway, number 2.
Number 2. No, I'm fine actually. I went there. Sorry, kidding. No. So this thing here is very, very special, and perhaps again underrated in the great collection.
And it's the first Tom Ford fragrance.
Yes, indeed. So special.
Should have just stopped there.
I mean, just leave it. You've already created a masterpiece. Black Orchid. There it is. So again, we come down to his designer range, and we come to something that's very unique. A blend of chocolate and patchouli. Full of class. No, I mean, not a hint of it being sweet gourmand territory that you get with some chocolate.
It's interesting. when we talked about the
Serious
opening of Noir de Noit, I get a similar thing from
Absolutely,
here.
yeah, absolutely.
It's just so heady. You feel completely enveloped. This
really
is
intoxicating.
This is marketed for women, but there's nothing particularly feminine.
We wear it.
I mean, there are definitely some kind of quite a few florals in it, but it's so big and rich and opulent. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, the reason it's number 2 is there's nothing at all which marks it as being the signature line. This is the EDP. You know, it performs really well. It performs better than most of the private brands.
And the combination is so unusual as well. I don't smell this on people very often. I don't smell that chocolatey patchouli thing.
I don't know why people don't wear it.
It's wonderful, and also a slight sort of acetone edge.
There's kind of something which kind of goes between kind of like marker pen and kind of boozy kind of spirits.
It's quite hard to pin down, but I'm sure if you look at the note list, there's a lot going on.
It's almost
a lot of spice.
I wonder if it was inspired or took any influence from Angel at all. I wonder if Tom
could
Ford
be a little bit,
that enormous kind of patchouli bomb of Angel and thought, I like the boldness of the patchouli, but I want to do it more refined.
That's very good point.
And this is such an interesting scent that this is he was starting up his own designer brand, and if you want to create an iconic image, that's it for me. It's elegance, it's a perfectly tailored black suit, it's a beautiful black dress, it's someone who walks into the room and everyone looks at them because they look classy. That is what that's like.
And they own the room straight away. This thing announces itself, but without being vulgar. I mean, Angel is quite vulgar in a sense. I love it, but
that's a clubbing scent. This is a slightly classy. This is a real like cocktail bar.
Angel is Kim Kardashian. Maybe this is
Monica Bellucci.
Yeah,
or someone like that.
It's a little bit more.
Yeah.
They're very beautiful, isn't it?
So what has made it to number 1?
Number 1.
This is a difficult one. I think
it's a really tough one.
I know it's a scent which means a lot to you. And we've had.
You're gonna smell while
we did back and forth with this because it's. We've talked about the difference in price between the signature line and the private blend line. So if we were going to put a private blend at the top, it would be a bit difficult. And there's also the question of reformulation. And
that's a really tough one.
We can't deny the fact that there are the original is better. The one you got here is a lot better than the one that exists now. And the other thing you could say is there are lots of clones which do a similar thing better than the modern versions, kind of on a par with that. But at the end of the day, I think we wanted to pay homage to the originality. Yeah, the originality and the boldness of Tuscan Leather. There she is. This thing here is from the 2007 original batches. I mean, there's hardly anything. I don't know if you can get a squirt out of that. I'll save it.
There's hardly anything left in there now because I've used it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wish I could go back to 2007 and smelt this when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I feel there are so many things which have imitated it, so many things which copied it, and this, it's so big and bold, but it's so elegant. It doesn't. And in a way, I'm still thinking back to kind of Fahrenheit. As this is the same kind of family almost. That must have been big and bold, and it smelled unmistakably manly. This is the same kind of thing. It smells big and bold and rugged, and it's just teetering on the balance of. We said Black Orchid was elegant. This is just teetering on the balance of elegant and rugged. Yeah, that's it. It's got the combination. It's got that little bit of rough. It's got that, as Rogues 08 likes to call it, that bit of rough and tumble leather. Yeah. But it has this wonderful, classy, sophisticated. But it's also got that kind of cocaine-y petrol vibe, which makes it feels a little bit wild as well. It's a bit of a mobster kind of. Yeah, exactly. It's a real like party scent. I mean, they all came out together, these private blends. Yeah. Not Tobacco Oud and Noir de Noit, but a lot of them. A lot of them came out as a set, and I remember smelling them all: Tobacco Vanille, Oud Wood. Lots of things that are now discontinued that they had at the time, like Bois Marocain and Arabian Wood and all those guys. And this thing still won by a country mile at the time. It was this like huge personality soaring out of the bottle. And this thing is 10 years old and still has more punch in it than any of the current sort of clone versions or the current formulation of this, which is a travesty. I think it's a real travesty and tragedy. I mean, you can still find this, but you're going to pay a bit more. You have to search on eBay. Yeah. Get in touch with people. Say, is it vintage? If you're interested. Also, just go into Tom Ford boutiques and say, do you have any older stock? Very often they might have. They might have 2 or 3 4-year-old bottles of the stuff that
that they keep because they have new stock coming, and you never know your luck.
But I think this belongs at number one. I think it deserves to be there for the originality, the creativity, the skill, the boldness.
And none of the other Tom Ford private blends have spawned. I think so many.
Someone spawned a whole genre, and we said how much. We enjoy Ombre Leather, and that perhaps, given the current formulation of Tuscan Leather, maybe you would think about buying this instead. But you wouldn't have Ombre Leather without Tuscan Leather.
No, absolutely.
So it needs to be number one.
It's the king of these guys.
Yeah.
But they're all wonderful, and I think really we've missed out lots of things. Grey Vetiver was another one. I'm not a fan of the current formulation. I've loved it for years. I've had it for years.
I think there are better
things. Citiver, for instance, classic Guerlain Vetiver. So while it seems like it's a great one in the Tom Ford lineup, is it original in its own right? That's the question. Neroli, Portofino, all those guys.
They just don't perform.
I'll find you 1,000 other colognes that are more interesting.
Yeah.
Pegwell.
Yeah. That we keep hanging on about.
Mugler cologne.
Yeah. I can't see. And the same with Tobacco Vanilla, especially as it is. It's just not that interesting.
No. Tobacco Vanilla.
Yeah.
Great. But something like Tobacco Rouge by Phaedon, with all the added spice, has a lot more personality for me. So, there are lots of reasons why things don't get included. And it's not because we don't like them necessarily.
But we need to squeeze them into 10. And we squeezed so hard that it got down to 8.
Yeah.
But these are 8 fragrances which are, they mean a lot to all of us.
Yeah.
No, all of them mean a lot to us.
Yes, exactly. And they would grace any collection really well.
They're all class.
We love them.
Anyway, that's it. That's it for now. Until next time.
See you soon.
Happy sniffing.
Bye.